Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about optional versus default parameter in TypeScript. So why does this TypeScript function throw error when parameters are missing? We will see in this lectures and how to companies write flexible function without breaking code. In this video you will learn optional parameter and default parameters in TypeScript with real world examples and with best practices. So there is the first question: what are parameters in the functions? Here, a parameter is a variable passed into a function. It helps the function receive data, and also we will see here problem without optional parameters. Okay, so here let's first understand a parameter is a variable passed into a function. It helps with function receive data. So it helps the function receive data. Now let's check the examples. So let's open the VS Code. So here you have to create a new file, and that is a default. Okay, default and optional here. Optional function .ts files. That is fine. Okay. Here you can write the function's name in the sort. It is totally dependent on you. So first it is about here. Here you could define the functions, and then you have to greet and name, and then it is annotations. You have to always accept the strings, else nothing's inside it. I'm going to write consoles.logs and then hello. It is dollar and then write the name. Then we will write greet and then me. Got it. So this is here you can execute. This is a TS file. So let me try to execute here. So this one here, you know how to execute TSC, and then your file name node default and optional functions. Okay, .gs files, and you see hello me, because this is your JS file has been created, this one of this TS file. So that is fine. Now you see here what name is parameters. This is name. Here this name is a parameter. Me is argument. And this one meet is a argument, and the function uses the parameter value to print the output in the console. So that's why it is visible here. So now here let me check it in the next one. What here, that is a problem without optional parameter. Okay, what you got the error without this. So let's check it here. This is here. Suppose you have to create a functions, and then it is a welcome name, that is the strings, and then inside it console.logs, and then inside it here you have to write welcome dollar symbols, that is the name, and then it is welcome, and you will see you got here what this one expected one argument but got 0. Okay, here you have to see. Okay, error occur because TypeScript expected the name here, and TypeScript is strict about the required parameter. You have to put your argument here. Okay, so you got this. Okay, here problem without optional parameters. The next is about what are optional parameters here. Now the next thing here, what are optional parameters? An optional parameter is a parameter that may or may not receive a value. So it is optional, and we use to make here the symbols, kind of you can say this question marks. Okay, to make our parameters optional. So I'm going to check the example, and also we'll check write the syntax here like parameter, and then like this, then it's type. Okay, so this is syntax. Got it? You have to put it here. So this is here it is syntax. Okay, parameters, name this question, and then its type. So we have the basic example for that. Okay, I mean, let me copy paste in this one, this example, and then remove the code, and then what, hello this name, and then here optional parameters. Okay, optional, this is a grid, and then you have to see. Okay, you see here again. Okay, here first, okay, when first time we call this functions, we pass the argument that is a me, and then you got name string, and that is expected, and that is fine. But you see here again, you try to call that function, you got either expected one argument but got zeros. Okay, here because inside in this parenthesis you don't have any values in this argument, like this is me. Okay, you don't have here. Okay, so now, so that's why here we have a concept for optionals. Okay, you have to put or not. Okay, inside it, it is totally depend on you. So this is here, this is optional here. Here you have to write optionals. Okay, this is here you have to use that question mark, and now you see that here has gone. You see here. Okay, because of this one, this is optionals. Okay, it is totally depend on you. If you want, you have to put the values as argument. Okay, if you do not like that, and then you don't put that values here, and when you execute, then you got your result as expected. TSC, and then your function name, and you see what, undefined. Okay, TypeScript sets the parameter to the undefined. This is here undefined because of this one. Here you don't have pass any of the values, so that's why your name will be undefined. Okay, since name is optional, no error occurs. You see here there is no any errors. Okay, throw by the TypeScript. So this is the about your optionals parameters. Now here the important rule of optionals parameter. Let me check. So let me here you have to check it. Here important rule of optionals parameters. Here optional parameters should come after required parameters, and we will see example with wrong plus right. Okay, I mean wrong example, then correct examples. So check it here. Here you have to comment, and then move to the next one. Yes, here if you write that is a function test, and then inside age, this is optionals parameter, and then it is a number. Okay, then comma, the name, and that is a real strings. Okay, and then it is your functions. So you got it, you got the error. What, your name is declared but its value is never read. Okay, this is here a required parameter cannot follow in optionals parameters. And but here if you write like this, the same functions like this one here, I know first you have to comment on this one, and then you have to cut this from, okay, not like that. Here you have to cut and then remove from here, put it here and here. Okay, now you see JavaScript do not throw the error here. Okay, so you have to always put in the last your optionals parameter. So that is the correct way to get your parameters here. So this is a very important rules. So this is, let me comment here, and then here what are the default parameters. Now let me check it. Default parameters here, a default parameter automatically get a here predefined value if no value is passed. Okay, it is kind of default parameters. Okay, if you do not pass any value, then it automatically get your default values. This is here. Inside it you have to define the functions, function grid. This is here grid. Inside it here you write the name, and that is the strings. Okay, it is equal to, this is guest. Okay, you see here this is your default values. You see here it is equal to, and guest it is a default value. If you do not provide a value as argument, it automatically set your this values. Console.logs, and then site backtick right here hello. This is $.name, then outside it here right greet. Okay, then here you have to put the name me and then greet. Okay, you see, and then you execute, you got what your output here. This is hello me, because first time you pass the value, so in place of your name it is me, so hello me. But in the second use here you don't have pass any argument, so in that case here automatically here TypeScript set its default value, that is in guest. Here hello guest. Okay, if you do not pass the value inside it, here inside it, but you see here we have the values, but here don't have values. Okay, so if you pass the values, then TypeScript set the name here hello me. But here if you do not have values, then we will set this default values hello me. Okay, so let's execute these files. This is the here execute that file tsc and then functions name, and you will see hello me then guest, because of this function executions. Okay, because of this one you got this output, and because of this execution you got this outputs here hello guest. Okay, so you see, okay, if no argument is passed, TypeScript automatically uses the guest, this guest. Okay, default values. So here, okay, so we have another example for you, like real life examples. Okay, so this one, let me check it here for the e-commerce example. E-commerce website, this one. So let me we get functions, that is a place orders, and then inside it here you will write the product, and that is a string. Then write here quantity here, that is a number, it is equal to 1. Okay, this is default value. Again I am setting default values for this quantity number 1, and then we have console.logs inside backtick write product, and then here string interpolation, in the JavaScript products. Then similarly for here console.log, this is a quantities, and then dollar symbols here quantities here, and then you have to execute functions. It is a place order inside it here, put laptop, then it is 2, it is a place order, and then it is here right mouse. Okay, you see here we don't have pass any quantities values. Okay, so you got what your default values. They must use by one item by default. Anyone go to the by laptop or mouse, by default he or she buy only one item. Okay, so that's why here we have set it set default value, it is a 1. Okay, so the quantities is set to 1, and then you execute it files. This is here, and then you got it here. First it is here product laptop quantity 2, but product mouse 1 quantity 1, because you see here we don't have pass any value like 2 or 3 your mouse quantity. Okay, here default value it is 1 if you do not pass, so quantity 1. But suppose if you pass here 3, then in that case what you got here quantity 3. Let me check it here. You have to execute that files, and you see here product laptop quantity 2, product mouse quantity 3. Okay, then let me check it here what we have more in the slide here. Next, okay, here best practices. Okay, use default parameter when a common value exists, you want safer code and you want clean output. Use here optional parameters when value may augment not exist, different logic is needed when value is missing. And then here we have the interview questions also. So let me check it here one by one for you. So let me check it here. The first one, what is an optional parameter in the TypeScript here? So in optional parameter, it is allow a function parameter to be omitted while calling the function. It is defined using the symbols here, this question symbols, you can say that. Okay, the next, what is the difference between optional and default parameters? Optional parameter become undefined if no value is passed, as you have already seen in the examples. while default parameter use predefined values. The next is here, can optional parameter come before required parameters? No, optional parameter must come after the required parameter, as you already know. Let me check it here in the code. This one I'm talking about in this code. Here you see these two example. Optional parameter you have to always put in the last in the parameters. Okay, so you got it. Also this question answer. Then which is better, options or default parameters? So this is here, default parameters are generally better when fallback value exists because they make code separate cleaners. Okay, so that's it all about this interview question, and that are the mostly asked questions in the interviews. If you finally understand optional and default parameter in TypeScript, then hit the like button, subscribe for more TypeScript and real world projects and coding tutorials. I will see you in the next one.